So quite recently, I've been on a journey of making video ads, particularly product ads for various brands, and I'll be showing you in this video how I went about shooting these videos. And if you're a potential videographer or someone is looking to make videos for a living or for fun or for YouTube or whatever, you could probably get 1 or 2 points from the behind the scenes and the explanations I'm going to give as to how to get the kind of shots I was able to get. It doesn't matter what level you are, beginner, intermediate or expert, I'm sure you could pick 1 or 2 things from how I got these video shots. I use a Panasonic Lumix GH4 for shooting most of my professional videos, and sometimes I revert to using my Samsung Note 10 Plus to shoot even industry standard kind of videos. So it doesn't matter what kind of gear you have, whether you have a professional camera, an old camera, cheap, expensive, or your mobile phone. Once you have a decent camera, all you just need is to understand how whatever gear you have works. Once you understand how it works, you'll be able to get whatever shots you want to get from that device. And I'll be showing you how I used my Lumix GH4, which is actually an old camera. It's a 2014 camera. I'll show you how I was able to get very crispy, good shots with that camera. This is going to be a series actually. I'll be showing you one video after the other because I actually shot a lot of videos. I won't be able to show you all the videos, but I'll show you the ones that stood out of the series of videos and how I came about those videos. So like I said, my main camera is my Panasonic Lumix GH4, which I'm actually shooting on right now. And so the series of videos I'm going to be showing you basically cut across 3 industries: the perfume industry, the food industry, and the cleaning and hospitality industry. So I actually made ads for these 3 industries, and I will bring at least 1 video from each of these industries and showing you how I came about these videos. For the videos that I shot on the Lumix GH4, I used the Lumix GH4 in conjunction with a prime lens. So one thing about the Lumix GH4, it's a micro four thirds camera. Let me spare the details, but micro four thirds being that it has a very small sensor. It's actually one of the smallest sensors when it comes to professional digital cameras, and so because of this, the lenses are so small, and this is a plus because it makes the whole system portable. You can take your camera and your lens anywhere and not really even feel the weight. But then there's a downside to using a micro four thirds camera. It doesn't do well in low light. Another thing is that the autofocus isn't really all that good, but then I was able to work out a way around these things and then get very good shots from this because I understood the system. I used a prime lens, the Make It 35mm prime lens. This prime lens is one of the best tools that I have because the kind of shots that I get using this prime lens are super sharp, despite the fact that this camera, which I'm actually shooting on right now, the Lumix GH4, is just a 16 megapixel micro four thirds sensor. Pairing it up with this 35mm small but mighty lens gave me some very good shots, and I'll be showing you the results. Without further ado, let's go to the first video. So how was the video? Did you like it? I bet you probably did. So how did I shoot this video? So first thing first is the settings. Now, whenever you want to shoot a video, you have to look at the environment, what you have around, how you want to manage the lighting, how you want to light your product and light the environment, with what props you want to use in the environment and all that. So we shot this ad in a living room. The products we were shooting are actually small products, so it was easy to create a sort of small environment for them. So basically what we did was that we found a table, and then we found platforms that we laid on the table and stuck on the table. Now give some form of background, foundation for whatever we were going to shoot. And then there was this array of perfumes that were just in the background that could just give kind of like a blurry of different things in the background, which actually rhymed with what we were working. And so we had this tree by the side, which we're also going to use in one of the shots. And so that's the first thing you want to do. You want to ensure that your environment is fine. Now the thing is, not at all times you will have a very suitable environment to shoot your videos. Sometimes you may not have the background you want, you may not have the kind of effect you want in the background and all that, and that's where your prime lens comes in. So the thing about prime lens is that the majority of prime lens usually have very low focal length. Most of them are usually from f1.2 to about f2 point something and all that. Just know, as a rule of thumb, is that the lower the f-stops, the blurrier the background is for whatever subjects that you focus on. So with a prime lens, if I use a prime lens to shoot a video and I point the prime lens in towards the subject and put that subject in focus, if I have lower f-stops, let me say I have f1.2 or f1 point something, I'll have a blurrier background than when I use a prime lens with an f-stop of f3.5 or something like that. And because of that, you get this very blurry background, and that really helps. How? So when you have your subject that you want to shoot, all you just need to do is just focus on your subject, and then whatever background that you do not want in that shot is blurred out. That way you pretty much get rid of any artifacts in the background. What you just need to do is just to make sure that the artifacts are not so obvious that they still get in the way and you can still kind of get distracted by what's going on in the background. But then once you arrange what's in the background in such a way that when everything is blurred out, it just looks like a beautiful mesh of blurred out background, you're good. We used two Varicolor LED 600 LED lights to light our subjects, and so that also pretty much did away with the background, because the background wasn't really so much lit. Most of the attention was on the product and was on the platform that we made for the product. So how did we get the first part where the perfume moves from left to right and then comes to a stop? That was really very simple. So I had my assistant with me. What I basically did was just to tell her to just push that perfume, the pack of the perfume, from one side of the table to the other while I was filming. That was basically how I did it. However, if you're shooting solo, you might not be able to do this. So I might suggest, if you're shooting solo, one thing you can do is to put your camera on a tripod, and then you can tie a thread to the bottom or whatever product you want to do, and you can just pull it from one side to the other and then reverse that movement in post. And you could actually even just place your camera there and do the pushing by yourself, whichever one works for you. But I find it easier to do the pushing and do a number of shots till I got it, rather than go to look for something to tie and all that. That feels a bit cumbersome. If I could just get the pushing right, I think I'm fine. And we did just about 2-3 tries, and then we got the shot. The second part was really simple. All I just told her to do was to just reveal the product, and there's an intentionality to this. So introducing the product was the product coming into the scene, and then the next part of the shot is that she's opening up the product, revealing the product to you. And next shot after that is just me just showing how I got the perfume. And so they were just basically movements, placing the product almost horizontally, lying on something on the table, and then taking my camera, from below the table and then revealing the product. And then the next part was actually now showing what the product was, and so I was actually now showing what was written on the product, the fact that it's a perfume, what the content was and all that. You notice that at some point while she was holding the perfume, you know, there was this kind of vibration in the video, you know, which was actually in sync with the beat, you know, with the kick of the beat, that you know, the thing was shaking and all that. You know, that was just, you know, just to carry, you know, the motion of the music. That was intentional. That was not, everything about your video should be intentional. That's one other thing you should learn. The next shot was pretty much kind of like an afterthought. And so the next shot, I just basically told her to just, you know, remove the cap of the perfume, revealing the head of the perfume where you would actually spray, which is also intentional. We are still revealing the product. It's a process of revealing the product. And then you see that in post I actually edited it such that I did a mirror image of that shot, such that it just gives a dramatic effect of her opening the product on two sides and then the product meshing to become one product. That was just kind of like a visual kind of wordplay or something like that. And then after that, I do a bit of zoom in, zoom out, taking macro shots, after which I come to a kind of like a bridge where I situated the product on a prop tree. You know, I was talking about the prop tree that we were going to use in the video. So there was this prop tree that was in the location set we were using, and then I thought we could do something about it. And so I put the product there. I found a spray bottle and I sprayed the product to give it this kind of misty feel. So one thing about perfumes is that there's always a story behind perfumes and scents. And so using the story behind this perfume carried the vibe of something about, you know, the coolness, the freshness of nature and all that. And so that misty feel of using, you know, mist on the product and then putting it among leaves, you know, nature and all that, really carried that vibe of, you know, freshness and coolness. And so that was why that shot was like that. And so, you know, the music also, you know, came to a stop, a bridge where everything, you know, calmed down. Everything was just, you know, kind of mellow for that period. It was basically just carrying the mood. And then from that, we now moved to where we sprayed the perfume, which is actually kind of like the climax point. And so at the point at which you spray the perfume is fully revealed at this point. And so the music resumes back from that bridge. And then there's this mist, you know, that covers that place and all that. That was done in post. That mist was added in post while editing. And so, you know, the fragrance is spreading and all that. And then while it's spreading, you know, the perfume goes back into its case and then it's closed, and then the perfume is displayed with its spark the way the whole thing appears, and then the ad comes to an end. And then of course I wrote the name of the brand presenting the product. The biggest things you need to take away from how I shot this ad was the fact that everything you do has to have an intentionality to it. Even the music you are going to put there, everything has to have an intentionality and carry the story that you're trying to, you know, push or put forward. The limitations of my camera that I talked about, the fact that it doesn't do well in low light, well, we pretty much eliminated that because of the fact that we were using concentrated LED lights, and so we didn't have any issues with that. But then there's also the issue of, you know, the focusing. So for all these shots I used manual focusing, so I pretty much got used to how to, you know, manual focus even while, you know, moving my camera back and forth, you know, how to smoothly focus while moving in or teasing out. That's just something you have to learn if you're using, you know, a camera that doesn't have very good autofocus. But then in this case, I was using a prime lens. Most prime lenses don't even have autofocus. A very good number of them, it's only manual focus they had. And so this lens I was using, the Make 35mm prime lens, didn't even actually have autofocus, so I was forced to use manual focus anyway. I shot all the videos in 96 frames per second, which is kind of like slow motion and all that. If you have a camera that shoots 120 frames per second, you can actually even do much more, even slower kind of, you know, shots from that. I edit all my videos on PowerDirector, either PowerDirector for laptop or PowerDirector for mobile. I do all my editing there, I do all my color grading there, all the text I added, the text effects, the sound and everything. I added everything in PowerDirector. Perhaps in a separate video I can show you how, you know, to use, you know, different video editing apps to create this kind of engaging ads. But by and large, that's how I went about video, and that's how I created video. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section below. I'll be ready to answer and, you know, help you on your journey. And so with that, I'll be seeing you in the next series where I'll be looking at another video and breaking it down on how I shot the video.